For week 2 of the Navasana series, we are going to start to refine a little bit more of that boat pose. This will really challenge some of that core stability, and the whole intent is to improve your muscular endurance so that way you can be in a better position in boat. So you're going to start with the triplet of a seated figure 4 stretch, seated Russian twists, and then finally lemon squeezers. Then once you're done with those 3 exercises, repeating 3 times, you're going to do the boat kicks because that will be a really great way to make sure that you're kind of teaching your brain exactly what it's supposed to be doing to get into Navasana. The seated figure 4 stretch is a great way to improve your flexibility throughout your hip. This is a really good thing to do if you're struggling with doing something like a squat, or even if you feel like your hamstrings are tight. Sometimes this is a really great way to kind of free some of that up. So what you're going to do is you're going to start in this seated position. Now, as much as you can, you're going to try to sit as forward on your hips as you can, because this will put your pelvis in a good position so you'll get more out of the stretch. Then I'm going to place my hands behind me. I'm going to cross my left leg over my right. Now, when I go to cross this left leg over my right, what happens is I want to kind of like talk like this. As much as I can, I'm going to try to sit as forward as I can. So then that way I'm getting the most out of the stretch here, and you might even feel it in through your inner thigh. Then if I need a little bit more of a stretch, then I can just come forward, but then make sure to readjust where I'm using my hands to push forward on my pelvis. Russian twists are a great exercise for improving rotational core stability. So what I mean by that is teaching your spine to be able to turn while keeping everything else stable. So I'm going to show you a few variations. For the Russian twist, ideally you'd be using some type of weight, but if you're just getting the hang of it, then do this without weight. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to sit as upright as I can, lift my, my feet up, but you do have the option to keep them down. So I'm lifting my feet up, and then I'm trying to keep my elbows pinned in by my side as I turn my trunk side to side. So I'm just moving my trunk. I'm not moving my hands. Just my trunk is rotating as I keep my legs squeezed together as best I can. Lemon squeezers are a pretty advanced core exercise that's really helpful for teaching your spine how to stay in one position as you open and close your hips. So you're gonna start first sitting as upright as you can. So then I have like a slight arch in my back. I'm not tucking. I'm sitting as upright as I can, lifting my heels up. Now my hands are gonna come in front of me, and then what I'm gonna do is I'm going to lower myself down, straighten my legs, and pull myself back up. So I'm reaching out through my heels and then trying to maintain this position of my spine as I pull back in. Now that you've done the triplet, we're going to do exercises that are going to be really helpful for improving boat. Boat pose kicks are a great way to improve core stability, and it's a really great way to learn boat pose. So what you're going to do is you're going to focus on sitting as upright as you can. This is really important because this forward rotation of the pelvis is imperative for the positioning for boat. So I'm going to keep my legs pulled in as much as I can. And then again, I need to check in to make sure that I'm not rounding. I'm going to try to stay as upright as I can. I'm pulling my legs in, and now what I'm going to do is pulling those lower abdominal muscles in. I'm going to straighten one knee and then bend it. Straighten one knee and then bend it. Each time I'm going to try to regain a little bit of that, that core stability to reset myself. Boat pose is a really great way to strengthen your core. Now, you need to make sure though that you have the prerequisite flexibility and stability in order to be able to do this. Assuming that you do, we are going to start by sitting as upright as we can. I like to pull my knees in toward my chest because it's really helpful for making sure that I'm keeping a forward tilt of my pelvis. Now, there are a bunch of different variations. So one of the things that we'll start with first is just being able to stay unsupported like this, okay? I would rather have you do this than straighten your legs and have to hold. So I'm here, so I'm squeezing my legs together as much as I can, staying as upright as I can, and then the more that I lift my knees up, the more challenging that it will be. So you can start by being here and trying to hold that, and then eventually then you can work towards straightening, or you can straighten one leg. Make sure to like and subscribe to the Mobility Doc YouTube and share with your friends and let us know what you think.